Did you know that even though there are tens of thousands of words in the English language, you really only need about 3,000 of them to say anything you need to say? I'm teaching 3,000 words in 3,000 days. Stick with me and you'll get a new word every day. Secondly. Secondly is, it goes with firstly. All right, so secondly has to come with a firstly. And I've made a video about firstly. Secondly would come after it or show that it is of less importance. So firstly means originally or initially. Secondly would be not so important or not as original. We might say something like, secondly, we need to consider the long-term impact of this decision, not just immediate results. So before this, there would have been a firstly. It might have said something like this. So we might say, secondly, or firstly, let's think about the feasibility of this project. And secondly, we need to consider the long-term impact of this decision, not just the immediate results. So if there's a secondly, there had to be a firstly. The proposal is flawed. Firstly, it ignores cost, and secondly, it overlooks community needs. Now, do you see how both of these, firstly and then secondly, introduce this idea? We like to put things in order. English rhetorical style is very direct. We like to put it in order and to be able to see exactly what it is that we're doing. In fact, when I write something, anything, I start with what we call an outline, and it has this structure. I have an outline, and then it's going to have indentations of different ideas. And I would say, firstly, this, then secondly, these are my points. I usually wouldn't say thirdly. Thirdly is not so common. I might say finally. In English, we really like to have three important concepts. So I would have my main point here, and then I would have a firstly, a secondly, and then a finally. And then I would probably, if I had another point, I would put it there. Then I would structure everything in a very organized, linear way. Think about your rhetorical style, because this is part of Western culture, that we say what we want to say, and then we say it in a very linear fashion, and then we state what we just said. This is a very common way that Westerners write, but it's not the way that people write around the world. Different cultures have different rhetorical styles. She paused before adding, secondly, almost as an afterthought, that the timeline might not be realistic. So this secondly is an afterthought. It's definitely not the first thing. Secondly speaking, his argument carried less weight when compared with the initial evidence presented. Again, this is the idea of it not being so important. Also, secondly speaking will be understood, but it is awkward. I mean, why say it if it's less weight, right? The tone shifted when he said secondly, if I may be honest. This signals that while he was being positive before, now he's going to just tell you like it is. It's a shift in tone and possibly confrontational. So the opposite of secondly would be firstly, and we like firstly a lot more than secondly because we always state the most important things first. That's the way we do it in Western culture. Most important things first. So if you are writing an essay or a letter or an email to someone who is from Western culture, we're not going to read the whole thing. We want to know what you're going to say in the first sentence. That's culturally, that's how you need to work with people from the West. Whether that's nice or not is another discussion. Second, the word second has, as a noun, can be like a second of time or give me a second. We use second that way when we're talking about a very short period of time. We can also use this one's first, this one's second. That is the adjective. Like this is my second pair of glasses. I had one before, and now this is my second pair of glasses. The verb second actually means to support. I second that. Means I support what you just said. I second that. And finally, the adverb is secondly. And when I say secondly, I mean not as important as firstly, secondly.
I really hope that you enjoyed this word. Use it 5 times today, write it down, commit it to memory, and I'll see you in the next lesson.